On Now at 9, and we've got your questions.
Yes.
Yep.
So we'll start with the easy one.
We're going to start, well, yeah, because these are tough. These are some heavy questions. But yeah, Julie Pelly Monroe writes, who is Ben Quayle?
Well, Julie, that's probably the most difficult question to ask because it's so open-ended. Really, I'm a laid-back person who enjoys spending time with my family, enjoys Arizona, I love getting out into the various parks that we have here, and I'm somebody who's really passionate about our country and making sure that we're going to be able to pass along a country that is more prosperous and has more opportunities for future generations. And I think that that's what we're trying to do right now by tackling some of the really tough issues that haven't been addressed for a while.
Well, and a lot of people here in Arizona, across the country, didn't know you as a politician until you ran. And you had the commercial where you said President Obama is the worst president ever. Candace wants to know if you regret making that commercial.
Well, Candace, I get this question asked a lot, and I wasn't elected to play presidential pundit. I don't regret it. I think that I stand by my statement. I think that the president has made some strides, and I laud him for that. I think that extending the current tax rates was a good idea. I think that what he did by making the call to go after Osama bin Laden was a good idea, and I give him credit for that. So there's been some hopefully that'll continue to work on some of the issues that are going to make America more safe and more prosperous.
But no regrets.
I do not have any regrets.
Getting Americans back to work is a big concern. Jobs a big concern, especially here in Arizona. Ellie Rakoff wants to know, how are you parlaying your position as chairman of the Subcommittee for Technology and Innovations into tech jobs for Arizona?
Well, Ellie, that's a very specific question, and you are very knowledgeable. But one of the things that we've been doing is we were able to get the Small Business Innovation and Research program reauthorized through my subcommittee, which is actually a great program that has DOE, DOD, NIH to actually set aside a certain portion of their contracts to small businesses. And so it's neutral in terms of revenue, so there's no increase in spending, but it actually gets small businesses to be a part of that process. And I was able to bring out a great small business from Phoenix that actually deals with a lot of radio technologies for underground technologies. They can actually go like 7 miles deep in radio technology into caves and such. And so that's what we've been able to do and get small businesses to do that innovation.
More to come?
Yes.
And of course, our border battle, a big hot button issue with many folks. And we have a question from Stacia Grable. She says, how do you plan to protect our Arizona border?
Well, there's a lot of different things that we have to do. We have to make sure that we're going to have some real repercussions for people who are multiple crossers and people who are human smuggling and drug smuggling. That's what they've been able to do with Operation Streamline in the human sector. I think we need to make sure that that's part of the Tucson sector as well, which is where the vast majority of our drug trafficking is coming through. Immediately, what I just did on Friday with the support of all of the Republican delegation in the House and also the support of the Homeland Security Chairman Peter King was that there was a lot of reports where Customs and Border Patrol agents could not go onto federal lands and actually change areas where they were surveilling mobile units. They couldn't change without prior authorization. Sometimes that would take 4 months. And so they would be able to try to change things and stop the human trafficking, but they couldn't do it in a timely fashion. We introduced a bill that got rid of those roadblocks so we can actually have our Border Patrol agents have an effective patrol of our border.
And military, always a big topic in Arizona, especially with Luke Air Force Base right down the road. Paul wants to know, do you support the full funding of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program, or do you favor cuts to the program and other defense programs, because those potential cuts have been put out there too?
Well, with the F-35, there's a couple of different things that are going on, because I think that what Paul might be talking about is the dual engine competition.
Right.
And I don't agree that we need to have two different companies making the same engine. So I actually voted to not fund that portion of it. I don't know where that got, because I think that we were having one engine. The DOD did not want it. Secretary Gates said it's a waste of money. So I agree with Secretary Gates that we shouldn't be funding that secondary engine program for the F-35. So I think that the F-35 is a great program, and we just need to look where we can make some efficiencies, and that was one of the things that I thought in the DOD that we could do.
So you think there can be cuts to defense, but still have the F-35 program?
I think we need to make sure that anything that we do with defense does not actually affect our ability to secure our people and to make sure that we will be safe. I think that some of the reductions and the efficiencies that Secretary Gates has looked at and has put forth, they're good ideas, and we should be looking at those, because there are no sacred cows anymore when we're trying to rein in federal spending.
Representative Quayle, you did a fine job.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming in, and we do appreciate you being so candid with us on Now at 9.